Hello and welcome to another episode of the Trip-Cap Call of Duty League podcast. We talk about life inside and out of the league. The Chicago Home Series is now complete. We take a little bit of look back at the good, the bad, and the ugly of the event. We have an interview and a very fun map draft of Call of Duty maps with Wuskin of the London Royal Ravens. All this and much, much more on the Trip-Cap.
No, we won't back down, gonna fight till the end. Our honor comes first every time. Gonna stand up straight with our hand on our heart. Gonna right every wrong that we find.
So there's been a bit of a change this week. The more astute viewers of you may have already noticed it, but Benson is not with us this week. He's sick. So Ben, our condolences, brother. We hope you're doing great. Get well soon. We miss you. But we have brought in definitely the better half of the duo, Chance. You're joining us on this episode of the show. Mate, welcome to the Trip-Cap.
Thanks for having me. I think we have a rule in the CDL now of limiting one ginger per broadcast. And so we had to lop one of them off. This week it was Benson, next week Momo. I don't know. Best of luck to you.
I know, well, it's a good thing we don't have any more.
If this is my last week, I'm making it a good one.
Dude, I've got a lot of red in my beard these days, so I've got to be careful. He might be coming after me next. Phil, you're obviously still with us, brother. How you doing?
Yes. Well, one more week. I'm still here, still got a job, so no, I'm good. Excited to jump into this, and I guess it's going to be new for Chance to look at some of the segments. Don't know if he's watched the show previously, but it'll be fun. I'm excited for this.
Oh, it's going to be a cool one. Well, obviously, the Chicago Home Series is done and dusted. It was an absolute banger, I must admit. Like, Phil, we talked about this quite a lot when you were sitting in the chat just while we were watching the grand finals. We were so excited, truly, genuinely, to be COD fans.
Yeah.
You know, something that we maybe not necessarily, obviously, this whole COVID time is a little difficult. It's adjusting to the online series format again. And I found it so exciting, man. I'm totally with you there. What was so exciting about this event for you?
I think for me it was the final. I think I was sat there as the final, as I always am, watching a game and enjoying it. But there was something different about this one. I think it was the intensity of the final, the maps and how it was going back and forward. The fact everyone thought it would be Huntsman phase and everyone had written off Dallas in that sense. And Dallas kind of came out of nowhere. I think they are, I don't want to say the least favored out of the three, but if people were casting votes and who was to take it, I just loved the whole storyline of this one, and good to see Dallas champions again, and for the first team to win too. It makes it interesting going into the Mutineers and the Florida Home Series.
It really does. Chance, for you, dude, I mean, what went right for Dallas versus what went wrong for Chicago?
I think the broader theme for both of these teams in either direction is it's just a mentality thing. Or I think that makes up like the majority of it. 70, 80%, whatever it's going to be. Like, I think you had Dallas at the very start of the year online. They looked like the best team. And I think that's because you're home, you're playing, you're comfortable, and then you get thrown, and this is like quite a few new players to the CDL, onto a LAN environment against some of the greatest Call of Duty players of all time. Much different on stage with the crowd than it is like sitting from the comfort of your own home. And I think that was not an easy like mental switch for the entire Dallas Empire team to make. And that's something from the start of the year, like after they started losing their series to Atlanta and Chicago, we're like, all right, this is not the best Dallas that we have seen so far. It's just going to take them time to get better. And of course, now with this, they won on LAN. And now, of course, now that we're shifting to the original format where we know all of these guys are going to be comfortable playing, because especially for a guy like Illy, this is what he's been doing for 5, 6, 7 years, however long it's been.
Yeah.
It's just what he does. And it takes more time to get used to the LAN environment than it does to get used to the online environment. So it's not even a latency thing for me for why Dallas succeeded. Because one, obviously they won the LAN event, but I think they looked even better because one, they've had more time. They've had Rambo Ray working with them for just an extra couple weeks, but then it is just that much easier and comfortable playing from your own home, and that's where those guys are going to thrive, at least initially.
Phil, what went wrong for Chicago then? Because I think the comparison
Chicago.
here,
Go ahead.
No. What for you, what went wrong for Chicago? Yeah.
I think it was from the get-go, as in like they're usually, and they have kind of made their way to semifinals by getting out of their group. It was the first game. It was, hang on a second, we're playing the Subliners. Everyone expected one thing. And I think, like Chan said, we had two different mentalities going into that game. And the Subliners were like, this is our time to shine. This is where we can shock the world, if you like. And the Huntsmen, I think, like everyone else, me included, just thought they were going to come in with this, win this 3-0, 3-1, maybe drop a map, be tested a little bit more than expected, but they just started to kind of fall apart. And I think this is a series, and I don't know why I get this. I don't know if you guys can relate to this, but when these guys are online, it feels different in the sense that series, suddenly you're 1-0 down, you're sat at your own home, and even though there's no difference in maps, I just feel like it starts to get away from you, and it's so hard to claw that back. And I don't know whether that's because you're not sat next to your teammates. I'm sure some of them are, but it just seems like it's harder to kind of like get back in that mood of like, we've lost map 1, let's go for this map. It just seems to like get out of control for some of these teams and just drift away from them.
You've got no crowd to back you up. You've got no crowd to cheer you on and like.
Or teammates hyping you up like next to like fist bump. Like
that was something I noticed about,
which it is.
It is very different. There's one thing I noticed about Dallas, which we saw in the player cams, was like they were getting pumped up, man. Illy was jumping around. We saw his fists going out and about. Like he was one of the few people I saw getting really excited back home. Whereas like everyone else is kind of just like, I'm in this, I'm ready to go. Like they're just them and the monitor.
They really keep scrim. Yeah,
like they've just exactly like you're in the playlist, so you're streaming or something like that. But like no, dude, this is it. This is the league, and like I feel like Illy, Clay, these are two players that are really jumping around, like getting going. Like I'm seeing lots of like head bumping, and I'm lip reading, and they're definitely excited. But yeah, I didn't think anyone really else did that. Chance, did you notice anyone else feeling the sort of online vibe, like as excited or as pumped, I suppose, to be winning?
I won't necessarily say like more pumped than like Illy or whomever was getting, but like even listening to the comms, listening to the comms of FaZe, like we heard Priesta like going crazy. Like the FaZe guys, again, it's been a comment from the start. They're gonna be as professional as can be, geared up, ready to go for every situation. So you listen to their comms and they're screaming, the repeat of like top blue. They say it 3 to 4 times, freaking out. You can't understand them unless you've had like 2 game fuels, but those guys are all ready to go. So I think most of the teams in the league are ready to like make that mental switch of like, we are going to bring our A game to the online environment. But then I just look at a team like Chicago, and they never looked as good online the entire year that they do on LAN. Like they go on LAN and they flip that switch, kick it up a notch, and look like a slightly better team. And then they just haven't kicked that into gear yet for the online format. Maybe it's a comfort thing because they don't have to. Maybe it's just tough to make that mental switch, whatever it is. But they're just not a team that I'm going to imagine getting as excited as an Illy or a Priesta or just one of the younger guns.
I mean, maybe the younger gun thing, the novelty's still there, man. The idea that like we're winning,
they don't care.
We're going to be the best.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not there. That's a problem. That's a real problem because this is the way the league's going to be for the foreseeable future. We have no end date on the way this is looking. We have scheduled this to the end, so get on board or just die in the rankings slowly but surely. A team who we have been seeing dying in the rankings quite a lot though, New York, they bounced that one right around. Obviously, Chance, we've talked about this on other shows, but I'm immensely impressed by the way they managed to turn their game around from a team who I had zero hopes for after their performances earlier on in the league. They looked great. Mac melts.
Okay. Mac melts. You drop 45 in like your second or third CDL series, whatever it's getting. Incredibly impressive stuff. As an individual, nothing but positive things to say about Mac melts, right? He comes in, makes his team look better. But collectively as the team, they still only won 1 series. They still lost 2, and like they looked better. But if you're still losing, like we don't know where they've fallen against like all the other teams that are like middle of the pack or bottom tier. Like they might look like that and get that one nice win against Chicago. But what if they're barely able to edge out like a Paris or a Minnesota or a Florida? There's still a lot of good teams that if New York hasn't crossed that threshold, which that we still have not seen or been proven, they're in a terrible spot, right? 20 CDL points. And if you're still middle of the pack, even if you're trading out wins against your Parises, your Floridas, your Royal Ravens, whoever it's going to be, you're already at the bottom, you're not going to be able to climb up. So, like, they look good, but by no means does this mean take the foot off the gas or anything like that. Like, that team still needs to get quite a bit better.
Yeah, I mean, we may be fans, but we're not exactly putting shares into them just yet. We've got to see how they perform against the rest of the pack. Phil, was there any other cool stuff you saw from the home series that was a real standout for you?
I think we touched on most of it. I think New York was a huge standout, even though they only won 1 series. And I think that is a standout for a team to win 1 series and everyone talk about them. is kind of impressive in a weird way, but I agree with everything kind of Chan said there. I think we've seen some good, but we need to see consistency. We need to see more of this. I want to see them against Paris. I want to see them against Ravens. I want to see something more. And I think it might shock people because, again, the honeymoon period of a team is real, it feels like to me. And I've been a part of that. I've been against a part of that previously. And how this continues, we'll have to see because, again, some of the plays from New York were great, but also there were sloppy moments where if that wasn't the case, they could have taken, more maps. They could have maybe taken another series. I still don't put them above, Rocker, Mutineers, Paris. Like, we've not seen enough yet, but, round of applause to them. They look better.
And just to throw this out there, though, another part of this equation, which is definitely a smaller piece, but I don't know how many people were going out of their way to game plan for New York that had a new guy on the roster and that we haven't seen play for a couple weeks or months, whatever it's been.
Yeah.
You watch New York play against your Atlanta and Chicago's, and they had, especially in S&D, had strats that were clearly game planned, and they took their time to address everything that, someone was going to, St. Petrograd S&D against Chicago. You had attached doing the wiggle and laying down and spawn basically almost every single round because we know Envoy is going to flank eventually. 1 out of every 2 rounds it's going to happen. And they designed their strategies around that and had a lot of success because of that. But now other teams have had a look with them playing with Mac Melts, have now seen how they've started evolving their strats in S&D, and now other teams can go back and game plan for that. So again, if they had come out and started smoking everybody, I would have gone all on this team immediately. Yes, they look good, but they have a couple situations now where they still only got 1 win, and now everyone knows that this New York team is ready to play, and they're going to start getting game planned against.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see if they can actually keep those wins up. It's exciting to see that first one come through, but good call on the counter-stratting. All right, friends, I think we've covered the Chicago Home Series quite well and quite thoroughly there. It was a great one all in all. Get on YouTube, check out the VODs. They were fantastic. There were some real highlight moments. But now I think it's time for Clip of the Week. Each week we choose something from the Call of Duty League or Call of Duty community that has tickled our funny bone in a fun way. And now that the league is back on, we've got a plethora of clips to choose from. Phil, we'll let you go first, brother. Let's get into this. What have you got?
Well, there was a couple that I could pick from in this kind of category because it wasn't just one. But I've put one of Crim's interviews. Now, usually when there's a clip of Rich Campbell on screen, that's what we're laughing at. But I'll let you guys decide which one's the real talking point here.
Folks, it's time for your instant reaction brought to you by PlayStation. My name is Rich. And
Wait for me, Rich.
I'm waiting for you.
Just tending to the hairline, needs a lot of work. All the people with scump and formal shrines in their closet, you guys can hold the LAN crown, whatever. I don't care. It was GG's.
You told me you had an idea for actually beating FaZe. You said,
yes, just aim low. But Rich, the problem Crim is when they jump. Then what do you do?
I mean, this is something I'm pretty sure we've all seen.
This is the issue that all the other teams have been having. But you know what? We'll see. Okay, we'll see.
I just love the idea of a scump and formal shrine in their home.
They're actually so much better. It just makes me feel so good inside.
Wait, you don't have one of those?
Playing online again, dude.
I don't, brother. No.
I only have a scum one, but not formal
an
yet.
actual onliner, right, Rich? But apparently you can win the most LAN championships, but be an onliner at the same time. Riddle me that, Rich. I can't figure it out.
Rich.
All right. So cut to commercial. Let's get finals going, man.
I love how Crim ends his own interviews as well.
I'm doing your job for you, Rich. Play the Dragons commercial. Dragons! 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 Dragons in the chat! Dragons in the chat!
Bro, Crim is next level. He literally was just the interviewer, interviewee, director, producer, and the fans all at the same time. He hit all the marks and did it with a straight face. What a god.
What a god. That was so good. Phil, a brilliant pick, dude. Okay, so for my clip of the week, we've had some changes going into the online format. It's not been super easy at times. We're having players lose power connections, players lose internet, and this is the first time it's actually happened to one of us. Phil, you dropped out during the Atlanta versus London series.
Oh yeah, I did. That was
totally dropped out.
So annoying.
Yeah, it was the first round of the search and destroy. You were gone, so I had to solo cast the entire search and the entire Dom game.
Oh, of course you did.
And of course I did.
Of course
your
you
Twitter
did.
feed lit up. I had to cover both of us, brother, so I did a little bit of improvisation. And I have got an update from Mr. Whitfield himself. The internet in his complex has gone down, so I think you will be running with me
Mr.
for
Whitfield, I like that.
at least a little bit, friends.
I wonder what Phil would be thinking of that. He'd be saying something like, oh, you know,
I hate you so much.
Stallion just got to check the bomb, you know, not a problem for him. So exciting stuff, you know, Jerd, great job from him there, lovely kills. Nice bit of work with the pistol, but at the same time, nice to be seeing these players go back again.
Do you know what's the frustrating thing about this, right? Everyone on social media absolutely loves it, right? And I get it. I love it, right? When Miles does any impersonation, because I'm like, you are so good at this. But when he does one of myself, I'm like, this is terrible. But then I start to think, you don't really, you know, when you listen to your voice back and you think, do I really sound like that?
I love you, Miles. I know, Phil.
You don't.
Phil, tell us about what you eat here, Phil. Oh, I just love Phil. I've eaten so much sushi in the last 24 hours. You wouldn't believe it. Absolutely.
I genuinely haven't seen this.
Sushi is my favorite. I love sushi. I love burritos. I love chicken wings. Okay, Phil, that's enough of that, mate. We're back into the game. Sorry, Miles. It's okay.
I created a persona. Like, you were just so keen to interrupt, and I was having to pull you back onto the game.
Internet, thinking all about the Grubhub codes I've got and all the lovely food I'm eating. Yum, 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 yum. My name's Momo. I've got a six-pack. I know. Put it on Instagram every day. I've got a tweet from Momo just saying, don't worry, nobody knows I'm gone. It's true, Miles. It's the two of us right now, mate. You know what I mean? That's what I'm talking about, Miles. Oh, Miles, you're so good at this.
Why are you complimenting yourself?
No, mate, really.
It's you. What are you talking about? It's
I'd
not
take
me.
a bullet for you, Miles, Phil. Let's not
Stay
do that,
in
mate.
character,
We don't need to do that.
Phil.
Let's play some Warzone maybe later tonight after the games. How about that, mate? That'll be great. I love it. When you play Warzone with me, Miles, you get so many kills. Okay, Phil, back to the game, mate.
Here's what I wanted to do. Do you practice this? Like, do you talk to your wife as Momo, or do you just break it out on the fly?
No, so she could hear it that day, and she was like, she sent me a text. She was like, "What's going on? Why are you doing Phil's voice over the league games?" And I was like, "Oh, he's lagged out," and I'm having to cover for him. But I do practice them a little bit.
I would say you just do them. You do them naturally, as like you. We lived together for 2 weeks. You stayed at my house, you know. But it's not just me. People don't understand that Miles does this for so many people, a lot of celebrities, a lot of people, and some of them are absolutely amazing. You guys at home may never hear them, you may never see them, or whatever. I know you do them on your personal streams sometimes, but it just cracks me up. You know, down to the smallest of things. My favorite ones I won't spoil. I'm sure Miles knows them, but they are great. And it honestly, it's one person who makes me question myself and think, do I actually sound like this? Because Miles nails all of these impersonations. Maybe that's a really good one. I don't know.
It's not like when I hear you talking now, I can hear the major difference in my impersonation of you. But like the impersonation of you is more for me and you than it is for other people. However, I might work on it, Phil, and I'll see if I can legitimately do it.
Please don't. Can you give us like a Maven or a Benson or a Joe?
I'm gonna clip straight up. I don't know where I'm getting shot from. They're attacking the hard point. I got no ideas.
Clint is so extreme.
I was gonna say that's a great Joe impression. All right, now to Maven.
All right, enough of the impersonations. We'll come back to these later. We'll maybe do another segment about that. But Chance, your clip of the week. Lay it on us, dude.
Yeah, all right. Like, you guys like humor and funny clips. I come to the CDL for the gameplay, right? And the gameplay doesn't get better than Simp breaks records. And it's not the first record that he broke when he dropped 49 on his ear cave, but he one-upped himself because the only man that can beat Simp is Simp, and apparently Dallas, and that's when he dropped 50.
Seattle Surge, no.
Oh, and it's you two casting.
I love watching this. I've actually watched this back many a times.
Complete control of the spawns, and they should know it based on.
I still maintain we're going to see more people using the pistol.
Dude, totally, absolutely, man. When we saw the first player we saw really use the pistol, and we were like, "Ooh, pistol was dense, like way back."
Yeah.
What? It wasn't the Minnesota Home Series, was it? It might have been the first one.
I think it was from the very get-go. People were still trying. Just the pace that he plays at is amazing. I mean, what is he right now?
Yeah.
That's a easy.
45 and something, I think, at this point.
Yeah, I'm just watching
my favorite part of this game, casting it too, is it seemed like a completely normal game. FaZe had like a 30, 40-point lead, and then they flashed the scoreboard for a second, and the highest kills in the lobby was like 13, and then Simp had 26.
Yeah.
And that happened, we were like, oh, so it's one of those games. Okay, let's watch this.
I don't know if it was this game, but there was also a game where Simp had like 15 kills on Azure Cave within like a minute and a half, and Celian was 0 and 8.
Yeah, that was the first one. That was the first record he broke, 49, which was what, on Friday?
Yeah.
I mean, this is stupid, isn't it, man? Like, just watch him keep going. Like, he's so aggressive.
I bet. Hang on a second. Oh, he just got 50. I would have been screaming at my teammates to get out the hard point at that point. Get out, I need another kill. I thought he didn't make it.
Let me break it. Chance, here's the thing with those clips, right? Those clips are really cool. They're funny. Like, we were thinking about this, like, surely, if Simp's getting 50 kills, they should be winning by a higher margin. I mean, that's not great production on kills to hardpoint time, right?
Yeah.
That's not
I mean,
great.
so for this one, I disagree, actually. The, like, 250 to 179, like, as far as this game goes, that's close to a blowout.
Pretty good.
Like,
Yeah.
that's beyond, that's more than the average win in a hard point. So that one, I think, is acceptable. When he dropped 49, it was against the Ravens, and that was 250, 236. That's one of those you look at, and you're
That's
like,
a weird
all
one.
right,
Yeah.
that shouldn't. Unless there's someone on Sim's team when he's dropping 49 that is dropping, like, Pander stats of, like, the .48, but FaZe didn't have that. So, like, I was definitely a little bit concerned, but then for them to immediately do that and again on a Z or Cave, like, I think it's just more of the role switch thing. I think Atlanta FaZe took a very small hit in their gameplay to make improvements long term. So I'm not concerned about them yet.
No, not yet. I feel like it's more of a testament to how good London are at the fundamentals of hardpoint.
I don't know, you know. I love
be able
FaZe.
to
I think
survive?
they're for sure, you know, top 2 now. We can't say, you know, best in the game. But I was actually listening to Rambo on his like breakdown of the event, and he was kind of explaining how, you know, historically there's been teams who have been amazing at being outslayed and winning, or being the slayer and not capitalizing on it. And he was kind of saying that they're great at slaying, but sometimes they don't make the most of that. You know, they're picking up kills here, there, and everywhere. They're amazing, but they're not capitalizing. I do agree. I think they should be winning by more. I don't think they should be like 50-point clubbing teams, but I think certainly there are teams where they should be shutting them down. You know, limiting them to like 150 points.
Indeedy, brother, indeedy. Well, I think that's it for the clips. Actually, Phil, before we go, could you do impersonation of me?
Do you know what? I'd wish the answer was yes, because I could give you something back or kind of go back and forth. I can't do impersonations, and I'm not going to make myself look stupid, but one thing, Miles, I love to do, and this is getting less apparent now because you now live in America and, you know, it's more difficult. But when you first joined casting and you were cast in Australia, lived in Australia, I love telling people that you were Australian. People presume you were Australian. Now, you have a very distinct British accent to me. You got London accent. And people are like, yo, this Aussie caster is so good. And I was like, yeah, he's from Australia. You know, he's amazing. And it wound you up so much. But that's kind of fading away into the distance. But yeah, if you guys ever want to, you know, hit a soft spot with Miles, tweet him, let him know how much of a great Australian caster he is. Fun fact, he won Australian Caster of the Year. He's not Australian.
Australian esports personality of the year. I wasn't-
Whatever.
At the time, I didn't
Whatever.
citizenship, I had nothing. But now I am, Phil. Now I've got a passport now. I'm legit, baby. I'm a dual citizen.
And that's the ironic thing was I used to troll you about it, but now it's like you actually are. You know,
you can.
I've got nothing on you, Miles.
You do. What are you talking about? You do
Yeah,
those
but this
great
is
impersonations
on
of people
broadcast.
like-
You know, I can't. I've got to save something.
All right, well, next time, do that Michael McIntyre impersonation of me the next chance we get. Okay, friends, that's going to be it for Clip of the Week. We do have an interview with Wuskins of the London Royal Ravens. Now, bear in mind, this took place a little bit earlier in the week where Ben was with us. Again, he's sick at the moment, and we're probably wearing different clothes. But first, a word from our sponsors.
Here at Simp Farms, we believe in one thing: providing you with the freshest, highest quality, world champion cattle that you've ever tasted. Hell, we got 50 of them.
At 48, 95-49, ties his own record, one more. There's number 50.
Because here, having beef isn't a bad thing. It's the only thing. Our promise to you is we'll always keep harmful ingredients like pesticides, GMOs, and OGLA out of our product.
Talk about players breaking stats records.
He literally just broke the kill record on this map.
Tiny bites can still pack a big punch, and all 50 of our cattle come with a surge of flavor. I think one of them might even be a goat.
And Simp does it again, breaks another record.
So come on down to Simp Farms, just off Router 66. Our servers will flip you a burger faster than a hardpoint. It's like my grandpappy said, if you ain't frying, you ain't trying.
All right, friends, now it is time for another snake draft here with a very, very special guest. We're joined by Wuskins of the London Royal Ravens. Mate, congratulations on winning the Warzone Rocker event. That was pretty dope, mate. Well done. Of course, that you donated to the NHS. That's huge of you, brother. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. What's good, everybody?
Doing very well, mate. Doing very well. So we're going to be doing another snake draft here. We'll be looking at Call of Duty maps throughout the ages. We can basically pick anything we want. It's the love, though, boys. It's truly the love, whether it's for its competitive merits, good memories, sweet times, that first time you got an AC-130 or a nuke, whatever it may be. Whatever it may be, that's the pick. Okay, so I think Wuskin, you can go first, mate, as the guest. So you get to pick your favourite Call of Duty map.
I want to listen. This is going to be a curveball, all right? But if you've got a chopper gunner on this map, you might know. Modern Warfare 2 Wasteland.
Yes! What a pick!
What about a chopper gunner or a guaranteed nuke?
Pick.
Guaranteed nuke.
I'm actually a little upset.
I'm very happy because that wasn't in any of my top picks.
That was going to be like my third sleeper pick, right? Because I was thinking like my top 10 maps, and I was thinking, well, we probably need 12. That is such a good map. All the old montages made on that map, bro. You pull out the javelin, you spawn javelin. Oh, what a pick, Wuskin. I'm actually upset that my sleeper pick has been taken.
You also remember joining Wasteland and someone else having a chopper gunner and backing straight out? Yeah, I'm out of there.
Having absolutely none of that. Oh,
all right, okay. Interesting first pick.
Who's second, Miles?
I think it was going to be you. I don't remember. You go next, mate. Go on.
Oh, Wuskin just hit me with the nostalgia, man. I'm going to go competitive. And there's only 2 maps that stand out to me. And I imagine whichever one of these I don't say, whoever's third is going to say, Raid and Standoff. I am going to take Standoff, though. For me, that was such a great map. Search and Destroy was great, bro. CTF was sensational. Hardpoint. Some of the crazy moments, some of my favorite casts, bro. Optic Van happened there. Oh, what a map! What a map!
I am third, I think, because Miles, you will be last, because that's just the way it is.
Phil just took third. He said, "No."
I was 100% agreeing with Ben. It was either going to be Raid or Standoff for me. I was just happy I got one of them because Wuskin decided Wasteland was an appropriate pick. So I will take Raid again. The competitive aspect, Black Ops 2. It was beautiful. 3 lanes, everything you wanted. Raid is just fantastic.
Such a good call on Raid. All right, so I was going to go Overgrown from COD 4 as well. Ooh. Talking about
nostalgic,
good times, like very, very good memories of that map. I think I'm going to have to just go with for my first pick, because obviously it's Snake, so I get 2 of them. Isn't that right?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Yeah, that's right. So I think I'm going to be going with. Oh, mate, we're going to dial the clock back. Man, I'm going to go with Vacant from COD 4. Just the memories, man. I remember playing that beta more almost than the actual game itself.
Vacant?
Bro, I just had such a good time on that map, man.
Vacant?
What? Bro, I'm speaking from the heart here, man. I mean, hours and hours and hours with my mates grinding, sweating, laughing, spitting, you name it, man. So many good memories on that map. Bro, I had a good time playing that game. My second pick, though, I'm going back to the sort of more recent memories here. I'm actually going to go Evac from Black Ops 3. Some of my favourite memories casting Black Ops 3 were on that map. Bro,
Miles is just throwing curveballs in there.
I'm throwing curveballs. You want to be interested?
Dude, I was worried that some of my maps were gonna get stolen from me. Now I feel A-okay.
I'm about to have a full list of Black Ops 2 maps at this rate.
That's fine. Let me finish my point, you animals. Evac is some of the most fond memories I had because I joined the Call of Duty League in the middle of Black Ops 3.
Was that season?
I joined CWL halfway through that season, and some of the memories on that map, like good times, watching stupid plays, watching people fall off the map, you name it, mate. Just so good. Yeah, dude, constantly. I mean, even I was on the Apex side of things, then we came to Champs again. All that sort of stuff for me was just the bomb. Right, going back, you bunch of idiots.
So after Miles has picked Vacant and Evac,
good memories.
I'm gonna take this train back on track now. I've already bagged Raid. I'm also gonna bag Slums as These three, I think me and Ben are definitely in the same circle of maps. But Slums for me is one of my favorite maps. It was aesthetically pleasing. It was Comeback City. It was Slums Hardpoint was just like nothing else. Slums CTF. I loved everything to do with this, except one moment, which will be forgotten about never, and that was playing Complexity on this map at ESWC. Yes, we had a few audio issues. Yes, our mix amps didn't work.
Was it score, Phil?
And let it be known, I lost 250 to 6.
Oh my god.
However, little nugget for you, Wuskin. You know, once we'd fixed those audio issues out, we played them on Yemen Hardpoint, and we won it. We lost game 5, and that's why Meltdown will not be in my map either, because we lost it. But yeah, my second pick is going to be Slums. So I've got Raid and Slums. I'm feeling very confident in this draft.
Fair play.
That's good. All right.
Back to you, Ben.
I am going to take a page out of Wuskin's book because I am afraid that he might take this map, and I don't think anyone is going to take my third map.
I know what's coming up, Ben. I know what you got right now.
I'm going to take High Rise. And the reason I'm going to take High Rise...
Funnily enough, that was my next one.
I am a genius,
that
folks.
That's
how you do drafts. The reason you have to pick High Rise is because in that era of games, right, there was nothing better, for our generation at least. You get home from school, you hop on, you start playing some Call of Duty. You play for your nukes. Intervention sniping, top heli. Oh, boys. S&D, spawn sniping across. Oh, boys. The fun times that were had on High Rise, they were some of my best ever gaming memories, right?
Fact.
I could have gone elsewhere and gone for a competitive map, which I think I'm going to get anyway, because I don't think Wuskin's is going to say at my third map, but I have to take High Rise. It was so much fun.
Yeah, mate, all those Akimbo 1887s flying around. Great times. Great times. Idiots.
All right, Wuskin, you get 2 picks now.
Yeah.
I get 2, right.
Yeah, you get 2.
We're going back a few years here. We're going back to 07. We're going to COD 4.
Don't do it. Don't take it away from me. Don't be that guy.
We're going to COD 4 and we're going to go with...
Spencer's
killing me. Pick. I've got 2 from COD 4. I'm trying to pick which one.
Please don't take the one I want.
You can pick both of them if you want.
I mean, you can technically pick both.
Right, the first one is going to be Backlot.
I hate you! Oh!
Backlot. Honestly, great S&D map. I will say that. Great S&D map. Love playing it. It takes it back.
That's my childhood. That's my childhood right there.
Did you ever play Pro Mod, Wuskin?
No, I did not.
Oh my god,
I only play hardcore.
Oh, bro, you are sending me down memory lane. Jesus
what
Christ.
A good map. And then second, I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna say Black Ops 1.
Oh, you are. We're about to fight. We're about to fight if you take my backup plan.
We're gonna go with Black Ops 1, Havana.
Oh, that was one of my. That was a pick. That was a pick.
Great map. But
Havana CTF. Oh,
whoa.
I love it.
Banger of a map. Banger.
So good.
Good times.
Nice picks.
I'm actually very upset because you just jacked like all of my sleeper picks. All right, so what's left? You could go Crash. Not gonna do that. Rust for the obvious reasons. 1v1 me, bro.
Great memories.
Nuketown for just all the banter.
I actually hate Nuketown. I've never liked Nuketown that much.
Terminal potentially for all the good times.
Yeah, that was a good one.
But I'm gonna bring this back to competitive with a curveball. I'm going way back in the past. Same actual year Wuskins. I'm going Firing Range. But the original Black Ops 1 Firing Range. It was so good. It was the first time I actually started watching a little bit of competitive COD, sort of understanding. Dude, it was just so good. Some of the old school like MLG clutches. Oh, Firing Range. What a map, boys. What a map.
I'm glad we're on the same page. Ben's picking mine. Wuskin's picking mine. Miles isn't picking any of ours.
Miles is on Adventures in
I'm gonna get.
I don't know what Miles is picking.
I'm gonna get mine done quickly because purely the entertainment aspect is with Miles. I am gonna pick one of the ones Ben said there. I think Terminal from Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah.
It just had everything, and again, it was just. It was a classic. Whether it was you're playing competitive, whether you're playing pubs, you could have a lot of fun on that. But yes,
Terminal will be my pick. Back over to you, Miles, to pick something lovely and ridiculous.
I can't remember, what was Terminal called in Infinite Warfare? Can you remember that?
That doesn't matter. The only terminal you need to know about is Terminal.
There's only one terminal.
That was the terminal. No, whether it was a meme or whether it was, just like, oh man, just running around sniping on that one. For me, I think I'm going to go way, way back. I don't think any of you even played COD 2. I'm remembering like split screen games with my mates on my best mate's couch when we should have been at school playing
school, by the way.
Stalingrad, snipes only.
Stalingrad?
That's so much fun, man. It was a good map. I don't even think Phil's played COD 2, have you?
That's a respectable pick.
I played COD 2 way after COD 2 was released. So I started on COD 3.
Yeah.
And then I got stuck on COD 4 for about 3 or 4 years. But yeah, COD 3, interestingly enough, is where I picked it up. But way after I was lucky enough to actually play, COD 2 and go back and try and appreciate it. But I don't think I ever had the true appreciation that people like yourself, and we hear Hex always talking about COD 2 being the best one. Like, that's because they grew up on it. And I am a little bit sad that I never had that experience.
Wuskin, what was your first COD?
COD 4, funnily enough.
COD 4 was your first as well?
Yeah.
Not a bad one to start with.
Yeah, I think, I was thinking of like 10. Yeah, I think it was like 10, or 9 or something like that.
Just hopping on after school, just start playing some COD 4.
Been playing since.
All right, boys, good one on the draft. We have to give an honourable mention, though, to Piccadilly from Modern Warfare.
It's one of our own.
One of our own. It's like being in the actual location. Brad, you couldn't be there with us in London, but it was pretty impressive when I had the rest of the Ravens there, and we were literally standing around. Dylan was like, "Yo, that's where I throw my smokes," and like it was perfect. it was perfect, dude. It was so good. They were like, "Hey, Brad's up there, he's in there sniping from shop." It was incredible, mate. So, Brad, how's prep been for you guys in the interim period between Atlanta and here? Obviously, with the team change, how's that all going?
It's been stressful up and down because we've had issues. We've had visa. Some of you know we was with Nasty at one point, and we ran into some visa issues. And obviously with what's going on in the world right now, can't really control it. So we benched Reese, and then we had Nasty in, and then we had Sean in, and then we had Nasty back in, thinking he could play, and now we've got Sean back in, and so it's been up and down. And but we're getting there. We're getting there, that's for sure.
I'll do that. I have an interesting question, right? And I don't mean to be disrespectful by any means, so please don't take offense to this. But historically, when it's been kind of like the battle of the twins in terms of you and Scraps as to who's been better, right? Scraps has had a lot of limelight, right? Yep. He's been considered a top player in the game for so long. Yep. This year, though, it's your turn, right? You are, without question, top 5 in the game. There is no argument about that, in my opinion. You are cemented in there. You are fantastic this year. How does it feel individually to kind of be getting the credit you deserve now? I'm not saying you've been bad in the past at all. I think you've been a great player throughout your career, actually. But how does it feel now to really get that credit you deserve and, I guess, have one over on your brother?
I don't know. I never really looked at it like that, to be honest. I've never really sat there and I don't know. I've seen my brothers, my competition, if that makes sense. Every time he's been better than me, I've enjoyed every second of it, even if how bad I've been or how good I've been. So that aspect, I don't look at that. But from where I've come from, because I had a big up when I first started, and I went down, and then now I've gone back up again, even higher. It's just I don't know. It's now I realise that. Every time somebody there's nothing. Now I used to be where if I used to play bad, it'd affect me and I'd let it get to me. Whereas now I've learned where you have them days, and now I feel like I feel like I'm getting better and better. Or I don't know. It's a good feeling anyway. Let's just say that.
Nice.
I think one thing as well. It's like if you look back at your career, whether it goes however far back, kind of starting Black Ops 3 days, I think right now, like Ben said, if you can cement yourself in a top 5 player, I think this is almost, we're seeing like peak performance Wuskin, if that makes sense. I don't know if you agree with that, if this is kind of the best you feel on any COD or whether it's the best you feel within a team. But I had a lot of people, including myself, when the original Royal Ravens were kind of formed and the roster was formed, it was almost a lot of people were saying they're doing it because of where they're from or their friends, and they're not going to be kind of that team that can win.
Yeah,
I think a lot of heads have been kind of shifted into the mindset that you guys can, especially with LAN performances, including myself.
Yeah.
Was there a particular process when actually just making this roster? Was it like you and your brother, and then I think Dylan was that 3? Was there any?
Yeah, there was always us 3. There was always me, Matty, and Dill. And then, funnily, no one knows this, but funnily enough, we was meant to be playing with Clay.
Really?
Yeah. No
I
one
heard
knows
rumours.
That.
I did hear rumours.
That
That was an
instead.
interesting
It was
one.
going to be him, and then Jared, obviously. And then,
Wow.
Yeah, I'm not going to say why he didn't, but if he's watching this, he's probably sat there smiling. And yeah, because that obviously that didn't happen. It fell through, and we ended up with Reese and Jared. No, that's a bad thing, but yeah.
That would have been like a throwback to Black Ops 2 champs. Clay played with some Europeans. That would have been
So interesting.
That would have been fun. I didn't know that. Thank you for that, Wuskin.
Hey, you learn something every day here on the Trip
Nugget of knowledge.
Yeah, man. Brad, thank you so much for coming on the show, bro.
No problem, man. I do apologise for the previous ones where, I didn't.
We've been trying to get you on for so long.
I'm very sorry.
It's fine.
You've just curveballed us.
No, I honestly, I will explain off stream, but I'm sorry.
It's all right. We'll let you carry us in Warzone a little bit more, and that'll pay the debt.
I'm down for 4 tonight.
Thanks, man. Take care. Good chat there with Wuskins, and again, commiserations how they went down in the Chicago Home Series. But hey, we do get to see them again coming up at the Florida Home Series. Now, boys, we're going to roll into For Shame. We're going to make this a very, very quick one. For Shame. The bell has been rung. Don't DM your teammates' girlfriends mid-series. Now that that's out of the way, I think, Chance, as the new guy, we're going to give you the final thoughts here on the Chicago Home Series. Anything you want to get off your chest, mate?
No, I would just say I'm happy with the event, right? Like, it's nice to get the ball rolling with the online stuff. I think all of the matches went great. There's a lot of teams that gave us something to be optimistic about, whether it be Dallas for just straight up winning the entire thing, or whether it be the Subliners for looking great, or even the Ravens for coming off a 2-month hiatus, going against the best teams in the world and still looking good. I think this just is a tournament that sets up all the future online tournaments that we're going to have and gives us something optimistic to look at with the majority of the league.
Dude, optimism is key there. I think it's going to be a pretty cool time to be a COD fan. It's a very interesting time to be a fan of anything right now, but particularly COD, mate. Phil, anything from you, brother?
I'm happy we kind of have a new champion. # Crown Victorious. The Dallas Empire. They are, quote unquote, for me, the best team in the game right now. I think FaZe a little bit shook, and I'm excited to go into the next couple because they're the only team now to have 2 titles, and it gets a little bit more interesting. The storyline was always, we've had different winners every time. Not the case anymore. I think it was some of the best COD I've watched since the start of the release of the game, and that final was insane. I will be watching it back more, and I'll be excited for the Florida Home Series. I hope that one's a good one as well. I actually don't know what teams are not going to be there, but I know the Mutineers certainly will be back in action.
Mate, I like it. I was thinking back to something I think Krim said. It is our job, or for most of us within this professional community, it's our job to either talk about or play Call of Duty. Do it, right?
Right.
Too many people are kind of checking out mentally. Too many people are like, oh, whatever, it's online. This doesn't count anymore. I'm out. That is the most, I think, Chance, you brought this up before, that is the least competitive mindset you could possibly have as an individual, especially as someone who competes at the highest level.
I mean, so when I'm talking about it, I'm basically talking about Optic, and it's the tweets from Slasher and TJ, I think, have been the worst offenders. Online is not going to be a great situation for anybody. And let's say Optic hypothetically is pinging more than everyone else, and online is generally the worst for that team. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt in that regard. But all their tweets about year being over, I'm here so I won't get fined, give me the next game, whatever it is, it just looks like mental weakness from me, right? The most badass thing you could do in a situation like this, if it's online play is horrible for you, you keep your mouth shut the entire time, and then the first time you have a shot at land, you go and smoke everybody, and then you hit the Twitter and be like, see guys, this is what you get when I'm on land. That would be a mic drop moment, tweet of the year, holy hell, this guy actually pulled it off. But the guys that are tweeting it are the guys that have sucked the entire year. They were bad on land, now they're bad online, and they expect me to believe that there's some mental switch. Even if I gave them the benefit of doubt, it just looks like mental weakness for me, and I'm just not interested in listening to that at all. I just don't care about this. These are phenomenal players historically that I just don't care about when I'm watching over them because I'm expecting them to lose. I want to see the mental grit, the toughness of actual gamers. I want the Mamba mentality in Call of Duty, and there's no one that compares to Kobe in that regard, but one of the best comparisons we could have is a Krim, who's going on in interviews and saying look, I get it, it's my job, I'm here to play and I'm here to win, and I'm doing my job. I'm winning no matter what format, no matter what circumstances you give me, I'm gonna win. He does that, and that's impressive to me, not looking like a little kid.
Man, I love it. Do everything you possibly can to get the win. If it's changing ISPs, if it's moving somewhere else, anything you can do, this is your livelihood, boys and girls. Right. Let's just go straight into Miles' mailbag off the height of that one. We've got our first question here, boys. And funny enough, you brought up, I suppose, the Mamba mentality, but of course Kobe do. But we've got a little question involving the Chicago Bulls here as well. So the 10-part documentary on the Chicago Bulls has been great so far. But what Call of Duty team or what player would make the best 10-part COD documentary? Dude, I've been thinking about this for a while. I keep thinking about Formula 1 Drive to Survive and how much I would love to see something like that around the league. But if I had to focus it on one team only...
One team or one player?
One team or one player, right?
I mean, I've not seen the F1 stuff, and I've not seen the other documentary because I haven't.
Basketball doesn't feature as prominently in our cultural lives.
It really doesn't. But I do understand the topic of discussion. If it's a player, I think it's very hard to get away from Scump. And the reason being is we go back a decade, and this kid was 15, 16 years old, and there's just so much history there. And I think there's been, whether it's been his booming success on YouTube, his social media, his streams, like he's hit so many milestones, and he's always been like the first to do it or the youngest to do it. And just kind of like his journey for me has been it's got to be the best for sure. And also the longest, you know, it's just been going on for so long, and it's still continuing. Right now, he's not at the peak, of course, but I think player-wise, it would have to be Scump.
I like that.
I disagree. Scump is obviously a great pick, but also part of my argument against that is his career is also pretty well documented, certainly more so than everyone else. I want the villain story. I want Aches. I want to go back in time with Aches, where like at the start, I'm pretty sure he used to team with Scump on. I can't remember what the name of the team was. Whatever it was with the red jerseys. But Aches started there, then joined the first Dynasty team, and then had to go against the second Dynasty team we've had in COD, where he becomes the villain, where he beats him at every champs, where he breaks his hand and has that Jordan flu game or whatever. Like, they're interesting comparisons, and yes, obviously, like, not even honestly later on, it doesn't really falter off. Like, even when Aches started to like look bad as a player and career started to slow down, boom, world champ. So like, you have so many good storylines with Aches, and if you did interviews with him about his entire career, you get the unfiltered Aches access. Oh my God, that would be entertaining, but. He's had one of the most wild roller coaster story arcs of a career. He's had in and outs with like anyone. If Aches is not your favorite player, he has a good story with whoever your favorite player is. I think Aches would be a phenomenal pick for this.
That's not a bad pick, dude. For me now, I'm thinking about it. I'm like, what makes the F1 thing so interesting for me is like you're watching predominantly a middle pack team struggling to break into the top 4, top 5, and you're watching the struggles they go through, not finding those continued successes. So I'm thinking for the COD League, I'm like, I wouldn't mind watching like a Big Brother style documentary of Toronto Ultra all in one house. You know what I mean? Because there's 10 of them.
Right.
There's so many of them. And watching like the interplay between their relationships, how they're all competing to be on that main roster, how there's a B team that obviously like help them practice and stuff like that. I think that would be so interesting just because of the scale of that squad and how unique that team looks, and that like they're on everyone's list of like definitely not a bad team. They've got a lot to work through. There's so much potential here, but they're not quite delivering. Like, I'd love to see the highs and lows of their practice and of their tournament results documented very, very well. But I love the shout of Aches. I think that'd be really, really fun as well. All right, well, we're going to roll into the next question. It's a very, very simple question. Chance, we touched on this a little bit before. Phil, I think you can have some fun with this one. Where the hell does Optic go from here?
I would say home, but they're already there. I don't know. Like Pac-Man genuinely has his work cut out for him. I don't know what changes they can make. I don't know. There's not going to be a magical pill to cure like the player's mentality. I think we're too far deep and too far gone. Like, if I'm being optimistic about the Optic camp, I'm hoping to start getting 10. Maybe if we have like a weaker pool in one of the home series, make it out of groups and get an extra couple points. But in my mind, again, it's not like they're going to compete with the teams at the bottom, but I think we're a couple months away before they can even think about really being competitive with the top teams again. So I don't know. Pac-Man, just good luck with whatever you
Yeah,
get.
good luck indeed. Phil, what do you think? Where do they go from here?
I think, again, just to echo what Chan said, it's such a tough job because it's not like, 2012 where it's like, oh, we make a roster change or we go and grab this player from this team. It's something that I think has to start from within, and I think it goes back to the mentality. I think it needs to take something to change a lot of the mentalities of that team.
Yeah.
I don't know the answer, because for me, it's like you look at your subs bench and, maybe try something different. But I think Chino's on the sub bench. I think he's a phenomenal player. I think, yeah, sure, he can start. You could try that. But that's another assault rifle player. A lot of people question Cap. Is he good enough? And there's no, like, swap. There's no, like, Pharaoh for Prestini. There's no Mac Melts for Happy kind of thing. It's just a very tough situation to be in. It does bring me back to thinking, I know this completely is off topic, but Chance saying Optic Gaming would have a better outcome than the Seattle Surge going into this one. I was just remembering contesting the point chance there. But that's just a little bit off topic.
I think you're right, man. I think you got to make a change. Like, we talked about a big change.
Something needs to change.
Give Chino a chance. Give a sub a chance. Like,
give him an MP5.
Yeah, make some change, man, because what you're doing right now is not working, and it's not enough to just keep sitting there and going, I'm lagging. Like, come on, man. Like, come on, dude. We saw this on LAN. Like, yeah, there's moments, but like, there's been one moment. I just need to see something different. And like, if you can fix the internet problem that they seem to be having, I'm lagging. Then what happens? You still lose? What? Like, I just need some changes. I just need something big to happen. I'm a fan of the team. I'm a fan of the players. I want to see that turnaround. Last question, boys. Who is your favorite dragon of all time? Phil, I'll let you think about this one, because I don't know if you've got as many dragon references in the bag. Chance.
I'm sorry. I'm the dragon reference guy of the two of us. I'm the one you're expecting to know anything about dragons.
Anything. And think of, like, I'll give you a couple off the top of the head.
Okay.
Smaug the dragon.
That's Lord of the Rings. Puff the Magic Dragon's a great dragon. I'll give you that one. Is Barney a dragon? Barney's a purple dinosaur. It's a purple dinosaur.
Drogon. There you go. Barney's a dinosaur. Yeah, he's kind of a dinosaur. What other dragons we got?
The dragons from Harry Potter.
Oh,
I don't know their names.
I don't know their names either. I'm just going to quickly Google famous dragons so we can really nail this one. Dragonite. That's not a one. Mushu. There's a good dragon. Mushu from Mulan. Toothless from the How to Train Your Dragon series.
I'm with that. Eddie Griffin, whatever. Just give it to Eddie Griffin, Eddie Murphy. Oh dear God.
Murphy.
Can we redo this bit, please?
Yeah.
That is not okay. I am not cool with publicly saying Eddie Griffin was Mushu the dragon.
Leave it in. Move on.
Eddie Griffin's a really funny guy, though, admittedly. But oh my God, Tim, production. Are we canning that? Are we keeping rolling?
Keep it in.
Oh God,
please.
I got another dragon for us, Shenron, the dragon from the Dragon Ball Z series. Obviously, it gives you wishes. That's a pretty dope dragon, let's be honest. I've got loads of. I mean, I've gone deep into Wikipedia now. There's. Did you know about the Indonesian dragon Nogo?
Oh, Nogo,
yes,
I do.
I know everything about Nogo.
The Indonesian dragon Nogo, of course I do, Miles.
Dude, the Japanese are really big on dragons.
Yeah.
Nogo.
Classic.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. Ikuchi, Tatsu, Orochi, Oryu. Loads of them. The Philippines, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 famous Filipino dragons. Blimey. Learning a lot
Now, when
today.
you say famous,
Microphone muted.
What do you
Can
mean?
we please just kick Miles off the show? He's gone off topic. He's looking into Wikipedia dragons. Microphone unmuted.
This is fascinating, though. Come on. All right, enough of the dragon nonsense. I'm gonna go with Smaug because I'm a cum bitch. But here we go, boys. That's gonna be the end of the show. That's it. I don't care who your favorite dragons are. I think that was more a question for us, in jest. But okay, boys. Thank you very much for a fun show. And again, thanks to Wuskin for coming on this one. Ben, we hope you get a better chance. If Ben doesn't get better, dude, it could be you the whole time. How do you feel about that?
I will buy the nearest medication for him.
Oh, mate. I cannot believe you just said that. You know what?
I'm the one that got him sick.
On behalf of myself, Ben, sick as he is, Momo, and now Chance, take care, friends. Stay safe. See you later.
No, we won't back down. Gonna fight till the end. Our honor comes first every time. Gonna stand.